Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and today I had some interesting stuff I wanted to talk about. I was riding back to Chicago, and my wife and I were, we're a couple of nerds. My wife is a college professor like me, so we were sitting in the car, and she's listening to stuff in her field. She always listens to stuff on the subconscious mind and meditation and psychotherapy and everything else. And I just end up going through a lot of financial stuff. I'm constantly reading and taking in financial information. And I saw this really interesting thing that I wanted to talk to my peeps about that has to do with this big lawsuit. Apparently there's a massive lawsuit going on where YouTube influencers right online are being sued right now for $1 billion over the FTX collapse. Now, by the way, let me know if you can hear me okay. Give me a yes if you can hear me okay. I want to make sure I'm coming through all right because I always have to check the audio when I first get started. So give me a yes in the chat if you can hear me as you hit the thumbs up button. Also, what's up, Andre Terry from West Philadelphia? I see you in there. All right, can you guys hear me on Instagram? Let me know if on Instagram if you can hear me. I want to make sure my audio is coming through all right. Okay, good. Thank you so much for doing that. All right, so there's this lawsuit apparently right now with these YouTube influencers. There's some guys out there, a couple of them that I knew about. A guy named Meet Kevin something. He ran for governor of California or something like that. And another guy named Graham Stephan. And they do financial videos. And they were apparently, allegedly, according to this lawsuit, they were basically allegedly promoting FTX to their followers. And as you know, FTX just collapsed. It kind of went south. It went into the tank. And this lawsuit was really interesting. What I'm going to do is read some of this to you and kind of give you my perspective on this. I don't know if I'm a financial influencer. I guess I would be. My PhD's in finance. I believe in Black wealth and things like that. But I'm not I didn't start doing this to call myself an influencer. I was a professor before I became an influencer or whatever people call me. But anyway, let me read this to you. This lawsuit's on Yahoo Finance, and it says that a handful of YouTubers famed for their personal finance expertise are being chased hard for more than $1 billion by victims who lost their fortunes in Sam Bankman-Fried's FTX. The finance influencers are facing a class action lawsuit claiming they were paid handsomely to push the FTX brand prior to its collapse, following similar cases brought against celebrity endorsers Tom Brady, Madonna, and Gwenyth Paltrow. FTX's collapsed over a 10-day period in November 2022, with its CEO, commonly referred to as SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, now on house arrest ahead of a trial in October, charged with orchestrating a years-long fraud in which he used billions of dollars of FTX customer funds for personal expenses and high-risk bets through the exchange's sister trading house. He pleaded not guilty to the allegations in January. It's unclear how much customers lost in the scandal, though some place the figure around $8 billion. In the meantime, they're going after the people they feel led them astray. A class action lawsuit was filed in the United States District Court, Miami Division, March 15th. It named 7 plaintiffs across the U.S., Canada, UK, and Australia who all purchased FTX yield-bearing accounts. They are suing 8 YouTubers, an influencer agency, and its founder for their losses, claiming that the defendants did not disclose the nature and scope of their sponsorships and/or endorsement deals, payments, and compensation, nor conduct adequate, if any, due diligence. The document claims that influencers played a major role in the FTX scandal, saying the crypto platform wouldn't have risen to such heights without their backing and hype. It adds that influencers took undisclosed payments ranging from tens of thousands of dollars to multi-million-dollar bribes. Among the defendants named in the lawsuit, some have vehemently denied they ever accepted cash. Others have sought to distance themselves by saying they never received gave out personalized financial advice. Among the defenders is Kevin Paffrath, known as Meet Kevin. He has about 1.8 million subscribers. He put up a video and he said, some weenie baby attorneys from Florida are now suing YouTubers, including myself, over FTX. People need to put their big boy pants on and realize the realtor who refers you to an electrician does not guarantee the work of that electrician, FTX. Anyone finger pointing is also a weenie. Okay. All right. So let me know. What do y'all think about the lawsuit? Do you think it's legit or you think it's BS? Let's do a quick poll amongst intelligent Black people. I don't really care about what the world thinks. I always talk to intelligent Black people. You ain't got to be Black to be here, by the way. You could be non-Black if you are here, but just know this is a space I built for Black folks. I didn't build this for nobody else. What do y'all think? You think the lawsuit has merit? Or you think it's a bunch of BS? What do y'all think? BS? Okay, I see a BS. You think it's legit? You think it has merit? Let's see. Somebody says Yardy says it sounds like they are not taking responsibility and not researching before investing. Yeah, that's really interesting. The guy's asking, is this why Shaq is in the hospital? Shaq's in the hospital? Let me Google search that because I don't want Shaq to be in the hospital. I'm not surprised. Let me just tell you the truth. The reason I am not surprised about Shaq being in the hospital is because he is a huge, huge, huge man. And let me just tell y'all, black people, I'm not trying to judge. I'm not trying to tell nobody what to do. Lord knows I ain't out here trying to fat shame nobody and make them feel bad about eating us the same greasy, fatty food that we all grew up on. But the thing about Shaq is that he has a big, big, big frame, and I'm willing to bet you that Shaq is closing in on 400 pounds because when you're that tall, it's easy to carry a lot of weight, and when you get to a certain age, the human body can't carry all that weight. So as if you want to really, if you want to have a miserable old age, then don't take care of yourself. Don't go to the gym. Don't exercise. Like think if you're 30, pretend in your head you're going to be 30 for the rest of your life, and don't work out. If you want to be healthier in old age, you got to start working out and do it consistently because when you get in that 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, it's going to make a big difference. That's just my 2 cents. So I don't know about Shaq. I wish him well. I like the guy's an athlete. As a politically speaking, he's on and off, but for the most part, he's fine. I hope he's okay. All right, so let's hop back into this. Okay, so you saw this lawsuit with these internet influencers. Some of you said it was legit. Some said it's BS. I'm gonna leave that up to you to decide who should be held accountable. But let me just kind of give you my perspective in terms of how this crypto stuff was being promoted and how this whole thing worked. Crypto was always a shaky investment. It was always a shaky asset. Now, the thing about it is that when you come and you try to say that to people and they're making money, like when BitConnect was doubling people's money because it was basically a Ponzi scheme, people don't want to hear it. I remember going online and one of my team members sent me something. They said, "Hey, you got to tell black people about BitConnect because BitConnect is a Ponzi scheme." And I looked at it. I said, "Yeah, it is a Ponzi scheme." And when I said it, I got a lot of emails from people saying, "Come on, Doc, man, why are you hating on BitConnect, man? That ain't right. That ain't right." Well, the thing about Ponzi schemes is they don't crumble until things go bad, right? So when things are good, it looks legit. It looks cool. It's like being the flyest dope dealer on the block. It looks real cool until the cops raid your house and shoot your grandma. You know what I mean? Like that's when you start realizing that maybe that thug life wasn't the best life to pursue. But people don't know that, right? So here's the thing: when you're talking about crypto is a shaky financial asset. One thing I've consistently said to you guys is, in my opinion, I have never. I'll say this: I've never believed a person should put more than 5 to 7% of their portfolio in crypto because crypto is volatile. Crypto can disappear like that. That money could just be gone, just kaboof. And now you're seeing that. You're seeing that happen. And so what happened during crypto is that you had what my one of my dissertation committee members named David Hirschleifer used to write extensively about something called the herding effect. That human beings herd like animals. That we're indoctrinated. We just kind of follow the crowd. We do what we're easily influenced, easily persuaded by what everybody else is doing. In fact, studies show that 70% of all people will follow the crowd, even if they know the crowd is wrong. So a lot of people were herding into crypto largely because you have these influencers that were saying, "Hey, go buy this crypto, go buy this crypto." And think about it. Some of these people that were promoting the cryptos were people who know nothing about finance. I mean, forget the Meet Kevins and the Graham Steffens. I don't know what their backgrounds are. I don't know if they have doctorates in finance or whatever. I have no idea. I doubt it. They probably have MBAs. Maybe they were stockbrokers or something, which is iffy. But at the same time, they probably have more expertise than some of these other people that were out there promoting stuff. You had rapper Ti promoting crypto. You had what was it? Kim Kardashian promoting crypto. What in the hell does Kim Kardashian know about what makes a sound investment? What does she know? Answer that for me. She doesn't know. She doesn't know. Right? The only thing she knows is she does know how to build a company by making a sex tape and becoming famous by being, famous in a dumb society, right? She knows how to marry a millionaire rapper, right? She's married one and dated a couple more, right? So she knows these things, but she does not know about the stability of a financial asset. So what's always been fascinating to me about this influencer culture is that people will invest their life savings into something because somebody made a good video. I mean, just be clear, that's what internet influencers, that's when people get big followings and everything else. I mean, I'm not saying that there's not some legitimacy there. I'm not saying that some of the people aren't smart and don't have good information. but some of them just make really cool videos. They know how to catch your attention and have the right transition and the right sound effects and ta-da, and you're like, oh, that's a great video, and it catches your attention. And next thing you know, this person has 4 million subscribers. So then they promote something, an investment, and people go overboard with it. I'm gonna say this, I don't agree. I think that Meet Kevin, I think that he went a little bit too far in trying to deny any responsibility for what he did. I think that he has some responsibility. He has to accept that and acknowledge that. But he's also correct in that you have responsibility not to be stupid. I mean, how about this? How about we all have the responsibility to know not to go overboard? How about we all have the responsibility not to be ridiculous and just do what somebody said just because they made a good video? And it's really, it's interesting, and I agree. Somebody said Graham Stephan is relatively cautious. He admits what he doesn't know. He's always been cautious. Yeah, and I think that that's the smart way to go. I mean, I think I've seen his videos. I like Graham Stephan's channel. I don't have anything against it. But one thing I can tell you is this. Here's another thing you should know about economics and finance. No, remember, you're talking to an internet influencer. You're talking to a person who spent I spent from 1989 to 2002 literally like obsessing over financial theory, like going through data constantly over the last 100 years, gigabytes and gigabytes of financial data and theories and math that will make your head spin. And that was 20 years ago. That I got my PhD 20 years ago, and I've learned 10 times more since that time. But even back then, I saw a lot of stuff. And one thing I can tell you is something that a lot of people are going to disagree with me on. Most of the people that tell you that they can predict what stock is going to go up, they don't know what the hell they're talking about, because there's something called the random walk hypothesis in finance that basically says you cannot predict where a stock is going to go. Definitely not in the short term. You can't. You can guess. Maybe you'll get lucky. You can discuss the factors that could cause it to go one way or the other. But 9 times out of 10, you cannot guess what that stock is going to do. So when people come in and they tell you, oh, buy this, it's going to explode. Most people don't know what the hell they're talking about. But I don't say it. I don't say much all the time, because if you say a lot, then people think you're a hater, or they just don't listen. Because if it's been making money, they're like, oh, it's making money. You can't talk to a drunk person. So when someone's financially drunk, I just don't. I'm like, yeah, it's making money. Good for you. Yeah. I hope it keeps going. Right. And then when it all crashes and people are like, well, why did it crash? What happened? What's going on? That's when I come back in and I come back to the fundamentals, just like basketball. If you have players that are winning games and they're playing sloppy basketball, that's not the time to talk about the fundamentals. It's when they're losing games where you come in and say, okay, here's how you pass, chest pass. Here's how you dribble. Here's how you shoot. Keep your elbow in on your jump shot. Pass the ball 3 times before you take a shot, right? That's when you go to the fundamentals. So when the market crashes, it's a lot more fun. It's almost like since you guys don't get my pilot's license, it's like flying an airplane. When it's cooler, it's easier to fly because the plane cooperates with the wind better and the air pressure is right, so the plane performs a lot better. So the same thing is true with investing conversation. It's easier to talk about the fundamentals when people are freaking out and everything's messing up. When banks are crashing over here, the economy's going south over there, the stock market's been tanking for a year. Now people are a little more sober. You can talk to a sober person easier. Has anybody ever tried to have a conversation with a drunk person before? It's not fun. It's no fun. When I realize somebody had too many drinks, I don't even talk to them anymore. I'm like, anything they say, anything that comes out of their mouth is probably not going to be rational. So I'm not even going to try to take it seriously, because then I'll end up getting mad. Right. So, but when they're sober, then you can say, let's have a deep conversation. Let's really think this through. So ultimately, these lawsuits are interesting because, it kind of just says, I guess my thought, the reason I did this video was not so much to talk about them, because, they're going to do whatever they're going to do. And I wish them the best. I don't know what the lawsuits are going to work out. They have a good point that we do live in a world where nobody takes responsibility for what they did. I mean, like I've always thought it was silly that like somebody could come in your house or come on your porch without your permission and slip and fall on your porch, and it's your fault. No, I didn't even want you on my porch. I told you to stay away, and you came up on my porch. That don't even make any sense to me. So this litigious society we live in is a little bit weird. But what I also want to talk to is people who I believe you have an understanding of things like personal responsibility, and I want to tell you, invest responsibly. Don't go and put a big chunk of your family wealth into an asset just because somebody made a really great YouTube video with lots of cool music and sound effects. I mean, really, a lot of the financial influencers don't have much of a financial background. They just maybe repeat stuff they just read in Forbes magazine, or they'll go, get basic information out of USA Today and then repeat it to you as if they knew these things their whole life. But a lot of them don't really know finance at a very deep level. They just sound cool when they say it, or they got a rapper sitting next to them when they're doing it, or they just know how to persuade, right? That persuasive ability is very important for these influencers. That's why they call them influencers, because they know how to influence people. And so companies will come along and pay the influencers to go out and influence people. Like, hey, get them to buy this. Here, get them to go sign up for that. Get them to go pay for this. Go get them to go pay for that. And I've had some of them come and approach my channel. I told you about Grant Cardone reaching out, and he wanted to come to the channel. I said, no, I don't want you. I know you're good. Whatever you're selling is obviously good, because a lot of Black people like what you're doing, but I don't really want you coming and convincing them to pay $3,000 to go to a conference like that. I don't think that's fair, and I don't like that. And I don't like you, and I don't like what you're doing, and I don't think you respect Black people that much. So ultimately, I think that this lawsuit, um, I think it's kind of it's a natural expected result. Whenever people lose money, they're looking for someone to blame. I think that it's going to play a part in how crypto is regulated in the future. It will also play some part in how internet influencing is regulated in the future as well. And so just be ready. There are going to be some changes coming down the pike. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Now, speaking of stuff, you guys know I have a book. It's called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. It's a basic book. It's about $22, $23 or somewhere, no more than $24 on Amazon, and it's a number one bestseller in the public finance category. So if you'd like to take a look at my book, feel free to go to Amazon, or you can also go to boycewatkins.com, where I do a training on how to make money without working. It's free. A lot of you like it, so feel free to take a look at that. Also, I'll be in Houston April 21st and 22nd. So if you'd like to join us in Houston for Black Wealth Boot Camp, feel free to join us. I think the fee for the boot camp is a couple $100 or something like that, and it's 2 days. So feel free to come out and hang out with us. Now, I'll answer a couple of your questions before I bounce out. Now, somebody says, did they pay T.I. too? I honestly thought they were just paying others, which sucks. Yeah, well, pretty much anybody that has, like hundreds of thousands of followers, like T.I., who's a great rapper. I met T.I. in Ghana. And I don't know him like that. I know David Banner and Killer Mike very well. T.I., I know through transitivity, because they're close with him or whatever. And I think T.I. is he's a brilliant rapper. He's still got some growing to do in areas related to politics and economics, I think. I relate to Banner and Killer Mike a little more. Like, I can talk to them, and I feel like the conversation flows a little better. I also relate to Ice Cube a little more, because Ice Cube also has a type of maturity that I can respect. So when we have conversations, it's very we both learn and gain from each other. Also, Russell Simmons, ironically, is a person I learned a lot from in terms of watching how he manages his relationships. And so some of the rappers are not like, they're not all like, a lot of them are very smart people. Sometimes I think that we're smart because somebody's smart at one thing, they're smart at everything. And that's just not true a lot of times. Sometimes they can be indoctrinated into a culture that's not healthy, or promoting a lifestyle that's not beneficial. And you see that play out in their lives. Like, for example, you see even with T.I., you see where his son is trying to take on that trap crazy, gangster ghetto lifestyle, that he doesn't even have to live because he's in the suburbs. But when you glorify all of that, those chickens come home to roost. And then and I can name a couple other examples. I mean, first, one thing I'll tell you too is, in the next few years, you're going to see a lot of your favorite rappers dying because they're not living a healthy, like drinking all that lean and taking drugs every other day. When you get about 38, that's when your body starts saying, what the hell are you doing? like I'm about to kill you right now. And if you don't drastically turn around very quickly, you'll be dead by 45. That's why a lot of rappers in my generation did not make it to the age of 50, because they didn't take that warning. They thought that if they still believed that they were 25 years old, they were going to be 25 forever. So just keep that in mind. Health is wealth. Invest in yourself. All right. So anyway, so these lawsuits, I hope they turn out okay. I don't really care, honestly. I just wanted to talk to you guys about it, just because I thought it was an interesting topic, and I thought it was a good learning experience for all of us, right? So if anybody promotes anything to you, if your buddy says, hey, that's a good stock, or buy that stock, or buy that stock, ask yourself, What is that? What is in that person's background that makes me believe that this person even knows what the hell they're talking about? I think that's the thing that we end up missing. So even some of your financial, like Susie Orman was a waitress. Susie Orman is not somebody that has some extensive, exhaustive background in financial training. She was a waitress, but she has a good gimmick. She sounds good when she talks, so that really works. I'm not saying that everything she says is garbage or that she's stupid. She's very smart, obviously, but but there's a difference between being a financial influencer versus being a financial expert. A lot of your financial influencers are not financial experts. It's just like if I tell you, like, I'll give you a good example. Let me use myself as an example. I just told you all about the pitfalls of being unhealthy as you get older, right? And how that can kill you when you're young. I wasn't talking as a health expert. I wasn't trying to be a medical doctor. I was really giving you Uncle Boyce advice based on what I've seen. Some of that has validity, but if a doctor says something that is in contradiction to what I said, then I would put what the doctor said above what I said. Do you follow what I'm saying? Okay. So that's my 2 cents on the issue. Be careful when investing. Spread your money out. Do not put your money in one location. I think that's the key idea. Anybody who's out here getting their whole paycheck in Bitcoin and all this other crazy stuff people were doing, I told y'all back then that that's going to end badly for them. You never ever do that. Even if it works out, it was still a bad move. Just because a shot went in, don't make it a good shot. Like basketball, just because a shot went in, don't make it a good shot. What does FTX stand for? Um, FT. Gosh, what does FTX? Um, that's a great question. Um, I get. Oh, okay. It's an abbreviation for futures exchange. That's what. That's there we go. See, okay. Phantom crypto. That's funny. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up. Share. Subscribe. My new book is the 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. It's got almost all 5-star reviews, so I think you guys are going to like it a lot. So feel free to go take a look at it on Amazon or BoyceWatkins.com. And also, if you go to BoyceWatkins.com, I have a free list of AI stocks that I'm buying myself that I believe are going to do well in the future. So it's not investment advice, but it is showing you what I'm buying. So feel free to go to BoyceWatkins.com. You can take a look there. All right, guys, I'm out of here. God bless you. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you all soon. Take care now. Peace.